Hi guys, this is GSMDome.com and I'm here with the unboxing of the Motorola Edge 50 Neo. It's a special device. On account of the fact it comes with 5 years of Android updates. It's also a mid-range phone with a Sony Lytia main camera sensor and a beautiful red hue for the backside. It may seem orange, it may seem red. It's actually called Poinciana, as it says here. It's a Pantone certified hue. Pantone Poinciana. Okay, you can see the triple back camera setup. You should be here to actually smell the smell of the box. Motorola has a partnership with a brand called Firmenich. They made their own perfume and every box has a special smell. The handset is a 5G one with a MediaTek Dimensity 7300 processor with Pantone colors, with AI for the camera, with a Sony Lytia sensor, with a fast charging 68 watts and also some protection for the design. Of course, IP protection should be here and also military standard, which is something you don't see every day for Motorola, including their higher end phones. It's an unboxing, so let's see what we get inside the box. Okay, so first and foremost, everything is plastic-free packaging. Everything is soy ink, and even the case should be made out of seeds or something like that, as Moto itself has told me. A good company. A good company is part of their initiative to keep things less polluting or not polluting at all. So we have here juridic info, the manual, the promise of a good company and all that eco-friendly thingies, the energy rating, which is something new in Europe and will be seen often, and a key used to access the slots. This time we also have micro SD and a cable going from USB-C to USB-C. That's everything available inside the box. Beautiful red hue here, and it's time to discuss the design. Now, this came at the same time with the Motorola Edge 50, only this one seems to have more like a plastic frame rather than aluminum. The device itself, well, let's actually learn something about it. I'm going to show you the SAR value. So, it's something like star dash, oh, okay, this is it. So, for the head, 0.86 watts per kilogram, for the body, 131 watts per kilogram, and for the limbs, 281 watts per kilogram. In the European Union, the requirements are to have less than 2 watts per kilogram to keep the device safe. Now back to the design. It's 8.1 millimeters in thickness and weighs 171 grams, which seems very light for a phone of this size. It's actually pretty impressive. It's got a flat frame and a flat screen, unlike the curved Motorola Edge 50, and it comes with IP68 certification, meaning it can be sunk in water up to 1.5 meters for 30 minutes. It's also military standard certified 810H. It can resist the weather. Has a flat frame, a flat screen, and a vegan leather imitation backside. It's comfy and grippy, and it's got reasonably narrow bezels, although not as narrow as the ones of the Motorola Edge 50. Quite grippy, and we have these skinny buttons here with a special shine of red orange on the sides. It looks almost metallic. Aside from that, the colors of the phone, aside from Poinciana Red, there's something called Grisaille, Latte, and Nautical Blue, so you have your hands full with a choice here. Speaking of hands full, the screen is rather small by today's standards, 6.4 inches. It's a plastic OLED with a 1.5K resolution, LTPO by the way, 120Hz refresh rate and up to 3000 nits of brightness, which is quite the promise if you ask me. Gorilla Glass protection and also a resolution of 2670 over 1200 pixels. Now inside the phone we should find the familiar CPU, and let's actually install an app to show you. It's a MediaTek Dimensity 7300. If you've seen this CPU before, well you have. It's a 4nm octa-core chip with the Mali G615MC2 GPU, and this processor was seen on the Oppo Reno 12, the Nothing CMF Phone 1 and the Moto Razr 50. In the current case, it's accompanied by 8 gigs of RAM LPDDR4X, but we also have a RAM boost feature which adds another extra 8 gigs. There's also something called AI Auto, which automatically attributes extra RAM to the system. We have 256 GB of storage here plus micro SD. There's also a version of the phone selling with 12 gigs of RAM and 512 GB. Now the battery is rather interesting here on account of the fact that it's not as big as the one of the Moto Edge 50. So the battery here is a 4310 mAh unit. At least it charges fast, 68 watts wired, 15 watts wireless. As far as entertainment goes, you have stereo speakers. One is at the bottom and the other one is here in the earpiece. And you can do a bunch of tweaking. So if you go to the Moto app, go all the way down to the play, Dolby Atmos, you can tweak the experience with spatial audio, a bunch of profiles, and even these channels, this graphic equalizer, and the option of extra treble, bass boost, vocal boost, surround, virtualizer, leveler, and all that. That's the fun part. Aside from the fun part, we also have no audio jack, and we do have an in-display fingerprint scanner right about here. As far as the connectivity is concerned, this is obviously a 5G phone with GPS, GLONASS, Galileo, Bluetooth 5.2, NFC, USB-C 2.0, and Wi-Fi 6. The sensors include proximity, ambient sensor, light sensor, accelerometer, gyroscope, SAR, and compass. Those are the sensors you're getting. Now, camera-wise, I think we should switch to a white background. You have a 32 megapixel shooter similar to the Motorola Edge 51. It combines 4 pixels in one, takes 8 megapixel shots, and has f2.4 aperture. If you go to the back side, there's a triple camera setup with a 50 megapixel main camera with Sony Lytia 700C sensor, the same one from the Motorola Edge 50. It has f1.8 aperture, quad phase detection autofocus, and optical image stabilization. I have a 13 megapixel ultra-wide camera with 120-degree capture and macro capture thanks to the autofocus, and finally 10 megapixel telephoto camera with 3x optical zoom. This is the same camera we got on the other models. All 4 cameras, front and back, are the same from the Motorola Edge 50 to the Motorola Edge 50 Neo, just so you know. Okay, so as usual, we're going to go through the camera interface here. The options are also the same. You have night vision, dual capture photo and video, time-lapse, spot color, ultra resolution for full 50 megapixel shots, tilt shift, scanning documents, panorama, photo booth, and then there's a pro mode. You can take JPEG or RAW capture. You can play with exposure, ISO, shutter speed, white balance, and focus. Have a portrait mode, and in the photo mode you're able to choose your color profile, either auto enhance or natural. And in the video section you're going to see what resolution you're dealing with. So there's full HD or 4K, 4K only in 30 frames per second, no HDR capture this time around from what I know, and stabilization is either adaptive or horizon lock. You cannot fully deactivate it. We also have macro video capture, and finally slow motion. That's about it camera wise. Now the software is kind of cool, Android 14 with a pretty stock experience aside from the whole usual Motorola involvement. When I say Motorola involvement, I'm talking about a bunch of widgets and of course the Moto apps. Once again, 5 years of updates, which is a bit of a selling point if you ask me, and the Moto is triggered here. So we got a basic Moto app which lets you tweak the experience with themes, with wallpapers, fonts, icon shapes, colors, and some of them are as red as the back of the phone. You can tweak the lock screen like this, and you can also play with the display size and text layout, sounds, and the dark mode. We have the gestures here. We also have Moto Secure in a new version, 4.0, with new features. We also have a special scanner for resources, secure folder, auto lock, pin pad scramble. I feel that there are more options now than there were before. And then we have the tips to learn how to use the phone, display, lock screen, and attentive display. There's no edge lighting because there's no edges because the screen is flat. And you can also enjoy your games here with a special sidebar, a special toolkit, which lets you tweak the resources, do some recording, play with your voice, and also deactivate notifications and calls when you're gaming hardcore and you don't want to be bothered. We have family space here. You can create a profile for the elderly or for the children, see where they're at and how they're doing, parental control and all that. And then we have the Moto Unplugged, which lets you disconnect and do digital detox. Just use the phone calling, messages, and camera. No WhatsApp, no Instagram, nothing. And finally Smart Connect, which lets you do the opposite, basically productivity. Stream apps from the phone to the PC, turn your experience into a mobile desktop of sorts with a keyboard and mouse also connected, mirror the phone on the PC, use the phone as a webcam or hotspot for your laptop, transfer files, lock your PC, share a clipboard, or share a cursor between the tablet, laptop, and of course the phone. Plus, you can also mirror via Miracast the phone, use it as a trackpad, mirror it to either monitors or TV sets. That's it in a nutshell. So, this is supposed to be a phone that should last for a long while. It has basically everything a mid-ranger should have, except for the gaming part. Motorola Edge 50 also had gaming, this one doesn't. Also had the curved screen, that one, this one has a smaller screen. It fits in the pocket, it's slim and light. It's got a beautiful red hue, telephoto camera, this is the LED flash by the way, and also the promise of 5 years of updates. This will be a small phone for people who want small phones, but also rather powerful when it comes to the zoom, with the fast charging, and also being able to get 5 years of Android is no small feat. So that's it from us. This has been the first contact with the Motorola Edge 15 Neo, available in beautiful Pantone colors with a lot of personality and the promise of a well-rounded camera. That's it from us. Goodbye.